Hi, today I'd like to introduce the Monte Carlo GraphQL API in our Postman collection. You might be interested in learning about our API because you want to automate a workflow using a script, do some reporting around our custom insight reports, build an integration to an external system, or troubleshoot an issue you're having. Today I'll show you how to import the Postman collection, set up your environment, make some sample API calls, and reverse how our UI uses our API. Let's get started. First, download and install Postman. Next, download our Postman collection from our Postman GitHub repo, mc_postman.collection. You can either clone the repo or come and hit raw and copy and paste this to a text editor. After saving it, open Postman, go to Import, choose File, find your file, and import. In the top left, you'll get a new collection called api.getmontecarlo.com with two subfolders, one for queries, these are for retrieving data, and one for mutations, for creating or updating data. These will represent all of our publicly available APIs pre-configured for you to use. If we take a look at one of these and go to headers, we'll see it uses MCID and MCD token as your authentication. To get these values, go to your Monte Carlo tenant. Go to Settings, API, and you can either create it as a personal key tied to your user or an account service key for an integration. Hit Create Key, select how long you'd like it to be good for, give it a name, and hit Create. Be sure to copy down these keys because once you leave this page, you will not be able to retrieve them again. In Postman, on the left side, go to Environments. Click the plus in the top left. Give it a name. Paste your key value under initial and current value. Name your first variable xMCDID. Name your second variable xMCD token. Go back and grab this token. And click Save. Now in the top right, make sure that your environment is set to your newly created environment. Now, when I hit Send, my API call comes back with a successful 200 when we can see that my user is Joel Snipes. Say I'm interested in the user's email. Go to Body, and you can see the query that we're sending here. The hash represents coming out a value. So if I was interested in the email, I could look for the email field and remove its comment. If I hit Send, you'll see that now the email is being returned. Some of the available fields are actually objects, for example, account. If I want to learn about the accounts under this integration, you'll see that I'm getting a little error here. This is because it's an object. Simply add curly brackets, and if you hit Control Space, introspection will provide Postman with all the possible values. So we could pick something like display name. And the do config, and we'll see this account and config value is now populated. If you want to learn about the possible options, I invite you to explore our Monte Carlo API reference. It has all of our calls and their parameters defined here. I'll put that link below the video as well. Another useful call you might be interested in would be the get monitors call. This will return all of the monitors in my environment. If you look on the right, we'll see that GraphQL variables are available here. So I can change which fields are returned to me. Say I'm only interested in volume monitors, for example. I could change the monitor type to volume and resend the request. Make sure that monitor type is in our return fields. And we'll see that only volume monitors are being returned to us. Say you're interested in a particular value being returned by the UI. Maybe you want to understand all the tables with the word events. The trick you can do is use Chrome Developer Tools by right-clicking, going to Inspect, setting the Developer Tools to Network, filter by GraphQL, and then perform that action that makes that request. You can see all the API calls that the UI made. If you go to payload, we can see that this made a call to the search query. We can look at the response. So if I wanted to recreate this event search, I could right-click, copy as curl, open my Postman, go to import, raw text, and paste. And it'll automatically import the request that the UI was making into your Postman, and you can make the call from here. You can manipulate different settings and see how it affects the output, and use this to help you develop a process that might be easier to do in the API the first time, but you want to automate. Thank you.